Welcome to No Fabs. So brace yourselves for this one, folks. This is going to be one of them cars, you know, the road test later on is just going to be hilarious. It's just one of them funny cars, isn't it? Those of you that know me know I've got a soft spot for an old Volvo. I do have an old 940 turbo myself. Not quite standard like this one. Mine's been ruined / modified, if you like. 330 horsepower. It's a bit of a dog, like just normal drive. Well, it's not. It drives all right, but it's good when you're on go pedal. Whereas this one will be opposite. This will drive quite nice, this one. But this one has had a turbo engine installed. This is a B230 turbo engine. Now, they never ever came in the 240s. This should be a non-turbo engine. So it's not going to absolutely blow your socks off. It's going to be about 150 horsepower, maybe 160 if he's had a play around with a manual boost controller, which he has because I can see it on there. Maybe 160 horsepower, but it's just an absolute sled in it. Look at the size of the thing, it's massive. Just smells like your granddad's house inside. It just smells like the 90s. Looks like it too. Anyway, what are we doing to it today? So he's installed this turbo engine. He has told us he's done an absolute cobble job on downpipe just to get it in there, get it running. And to be fair, at first glance, it doesn't look too bad. I've seen a lot worse. Come out of professional outfits. I've seen a lot. I could name and shame a few that have done worse. It's not done bad at all. We are doing a full system on it. We're doing the full shebang, turbo bike, nothing fancy, no big tube. It's not having no 3-inch downpipe. We're just doing it all in a standardish size, one silencer on there, and it just wants pipe coming out the back. That's pretty much the only instructions he's given me. That's about it. So there's not going to be much before because at the minute it's only got a downpipe on it. So it sounds like a Brampton banger at the moment. But we'll get that sorted shortly. Let's get it up. Let's have a look what it looks like underneath. Come on then, let's have a little look together. What we got. Wow, we weren't kidding. It is a bit of a cobble job. He weren't joking. So downpipe itself, I mean, it looks like he's only had to modify it in one spot to get that on there. And he's not done a bad job, to be fair. I mean, he's ground his wells down. Can't fault him. Up to there, it's not bad. And then what's he done here? We've got all sorts of wires dangling around exhaust. Probably not best idea. Then cat's just sticking down there, hanging low. He did tell me that as well. It's all just hanging crazy low in it, so we'll be able to make a much nicer job of this. We can get all this very tucked up into exhaust, tucked up into the tunnel even, no problem. Oh my God, his exhaust is pointing at the car, not at floor. Holy heck. Yeah, you can see there it's probably nearly set back seats on fire. Wow, yeah, that's not great. So, a little bit different on a 240 to what a 940 is because you've got the fuel tank here in the way. So we have to come round like up and above and round. It's doable, it's all nice and doable. So we'll get to removing all that mumbo jumbo in a second. We're just looking, I just stood here looking where I'm going to put the silencer. Not actually too sure what an original 241 looks like, but judging by the rubbers, one there and one there, I'm guessing it used to come round side at the fuel tank there into a round box or something. And that should do. He said he don't want it much quieter than what it is now. Obviously, it's actually quite loud at the moment. I thought it was just a downpipe. So I'm thinking I don't know, it's hard to gauge it in it really. It might be a touch quieter if anything, but I think he'll be more than happy with it a little bit quieter. Either way, he's going to be happy without all this stuff. Let's get it all off and let's make a start. I'm guessing this is looking like some type of AFR gauge. It's difficult to say at the minute, everything's covered in oil, so we're going to get it all off. I'm just judging where the wire goes. Looks like it goes all the way up there like it's some type of AFR gauge wire. Can't see the original one being that long. The original one on a 940 is usually straight up there, straight after turbo, and at the moment he's just got a blank in that. But on the passenger seat, he has brought me this. So he's obviously brought that for a reason. I'm gonna have to have a look, see if there's a plug-in engine bay for that one. Get that plugged in. We'll have a look. We'll deal with that in a bit. Let's get exhaust off. Let's go from there. That's all that mumbo jumbo that way then. First thing we need to do is we've got a flange. I've already got a flange for it. We need to put the cone on it because it's a conical turbo. Come on, bring it in, show them this, look. So up there, look, the turbo fitment, if you can just make it out. I better go in underneath here, look, you can show them underneath. Try and get a close up.
It's just focusing on it, in oil.
difficult to focus. Yeah, so it's like a conical fitment on turbo. It's got like an external cone, a male cone, what sticks out on turbo housing. So we need to make the female version what's going to mount to that. And we're going to do that with this. I don't want much, I tell you now, I don't want much. I only want a little bit, because this is 2.5 inch. That will probably be enough, to be fair. It is, look. So that's enough. Don't want to be any bigger than that. Okay, next time we need to trim this right down, because the flange basically needs to, the cone almost needs to go straight on end of that. Yeah, the turbo housing, the steering column should I say. I'm hoping if that's welded onto there, and obviously the flange will drop on from that end once that's welded. Go on like that. It'll cover weld up, so it'll have to be a thin weld, there's no doubt about that. It'll have to be probably a pulse weld. Should be enough. I'm hoping that that's going to clear that steering column because it's close. But I have a horrible feeling it's not going to. So let's have a see. Yes. Clear it. Only just. But you know what they say? Only just is only just enough. It's it ain't got a lot of space, but it's clear. So that'll do me. Right, we'll tack that onto that. I'll just have a proper check then. I'll nip up the flange on and everything just to make sure, but I've not got much space, but I've got space, so she'll do. 45's work then, just pretty much as we expected. We've got a gap there with steering column, and it won't look like it on video. It doesn't look like we've got a gap with that turbo manifold, but I can assure you we have. It is very close, but that is 240 turbos for you. Everything's close with turbo and steering column. But that is on there and round. So next thing now is we need to come off of that, what we've already made, is to get it down here into a flexi sort of this area. Then we're going to step it down to 2.25 inch, and then we're just going to go run the rest of it through our exhaust bender over there, because it doesn't need to be anything else. He's not planning big power weight. I asked him all his plans weight this morning. He's not planning big power rope, so he basically said just do it standard size. Obviously I've done downpipe a little bit bigger, just because the 2.5 inch is actually easier to do than smaller tube, because I can get tight radius bends in there. I don't stock 2.25 inch tight radius bends. So luckily for him, he's getting a good flowing downpipe. Luckily for me, got it in there nicely. Let's keep going then, see what we can get up to. Starting to come along then now. I didn't show you much of this one, but I'll give you an insight to what happened. Got it all bent up in one piece, cocked it up. Angle were different here. It were a little bit too long, so the box was a little bit too far towards back at car. That were no good. The only rectification with that where I've had to cut it, I've had to shorten it, and I've been able to correct the angle in one. So it is in two pieces. There will be a nice weld there. Will you tell when it's welded? Nah, probably not. So box is on there, still loose at the moment, not tacked. Now the last bit is we've got to come out of there with a 90. It just so happens, poof, here's one I made earlier. How about that, eh? Fits on there a dream. Who'd have thought it? Right, offer that up, Connor. Let's have a little look, see how we're looking. Boom. Right, could do it going in a bit more if it'll go. There we go. One rolled outer tip. Looking good to me. It's they do stick out quite a lot on these, so from the side it's going to look like a giant horse knob, but when it's on the floor it won't look that bad because the bumper sort of tails under quite a lot, so you'll not see all that sticking out from the side. And bear in mind the car is absolutely decked as well, so it will suit it, trust me. You've got to believe in me with this one, trust me. So we're going to get welder over here now, we're going to get that box tacked in place, and then last thing to do will be hanger there, and then another hanger there, drop NAW tag on there, and then that's us, innit? Take it all off, weld it. So there's only going to be 3 welds on this. Well, 4 with hangers, 5 even. We'll do hangers on car. 1 there, and then the cock up what we did. Mid pipe is all in one piece. That anger's already welded both sides, job done. And then just downpipe weld. Quite a few want downpipe, and I am going to add a little bit more to this little stability bracket, what I've done here. The reason I've done that is because it can twist, and I don't want it walloping on that, so I've put a little bit of a bracket on there just to stop that. Other than that, we're cooking on gas, boys. We're almost ready for Rasdart Road, aren't we? No snow as of yet, though. We're hoping for some snow today. No snow. It's a shame. We could have gone for a slide, but nah, well. Let's get this welded on. Well, boys, it's late on it day. It's going to be another late road test. Pitch black outside, but the Swed sled is ready for a rip. Let's go and see what it's about. No, I don't think I've ever driven a 240 actually, to be fair. This might be a first for me. Driven loads of 940s, obviously I've got one myself. I've had loads of them in here. Never driven a 240, so let's go and see what it's like. This one's not got aerodynamics on its side, that's for sure. So it's probably going to handle like an house. This will be like, this is Volvo's version of the Rolls Royce. Sounds just like mine did when I blanked turbo thing off.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Sadly though, it's not all bells and whistles with this one. Shortly into the road test, I realised I'd made a huge error of judgment and the exhaust were banging on the back axle. The car is so low, completely underestimated just how far the axle would rise into the tunnel, and yep, it was banging on the axle. So let's fast forward a couple of weeks.
So fast forward a couple of weeks, and it's no secret I did make a mess of this one. I do near 99% perfect exhaust majority of the time. Unfortunately, I am only human, and yes, I did make a mess up on this one. It happens. Not that you'll know on the video, but today is a Saturday. Now, I don't work Saturdays. Now, I've not got any other time to sort this car, so that's customer service for you. I'm here on a Saturday and I'm going to get this sorted for this kid. I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm not scared to show you. I'll show you the good, the bad and the ugly. I'll show you all the good work I do. In a minute, I'm going to show you the mess of what I did. But just cast your mind back to when we did this exhaust. So when we were doing it over on the 2-poster. Now that's great for doing exhaust, but when you're doing a low car like this with a beam axle, it's very, very easy to get caught short like this because you're not too sure how far the axle actually goes up into the wheel arches. Now, as you can see, on this one, she's pretty slammed. So 4-poster comes into its own with this because at this point now, you can let the car down into its natural position and we can see exactly how the exhaust sits in relation to the axle. Now you can see we ain't got a lot of space. This axle does sandwich everything up, but in all honesty, yeah, I cocked up. I cocked up big time here. So when this axle's moving up and down, you can see clunk, 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 it's touching there. So the plan today is I'm going to rework this all together. Luckily for me, I did put a clamp here outside at fuel tank, so that'll work. We are going to have to put a cut on the exhaust here just after these hangers, and then rather than coming over there really close to the side of the axle, don't know what we're thinking that day, we're going to have to bend it close. Let me just move you into a better position. We're going to have to come up more here, well away from all that axle stuff, up and over there, get down the side of here, side of the fuel tank, and back into that joint what we've already done. Now it's not going to be easy, but it's also not going to be too difficult. But I just thought I'd show you guys, yes, I do make some nice exhaust, but yes, I do still cock up. I am only human. So here I am on a Saturday. Let's get this sorted for this kid. We're not going to leave anyone with a banging exhaust on axle. Heck no. Okay, so we've cut the old one off, out of the way now, the bit that was causing the problem. Now, there's no denying it, I'd messed that up big time. We had a chat with customer, and I don't think it's quite possible to get the diameter of tube we want over this axle without it hitting. So the car's so low, got absolutely no bump stops on it. So in other words, that's where the bump stop would have gone. Look, I've got over a fist worth of gap, but you've not really got all that much from the diff to boot floor. So in all honesty, if you put a ton of slabs in boot of this, it'd probably, I mean, you'd hit the diff bump stop there before anything else, but that's it. There's not really anything. It's almost infinite travel on suspension. So we've decided the best way to go about this is going to be Mark II Escort style. Because the car's so low, we're going to do it Mark II style. So if you're familiar with Mark II Escorts, most of them running Cosy engines, they all want 3-inch exhaust, difficult to get them over axle. A lot of lads just go whoop, straight underneath axle, straight to that. Now axle is sat way up, as you can see, so we can tuck exhaust right up here to axle, and we'll join it to that. Now, this does come with its own problems being, so it won't make any difference at all when the weight's on the car, when you're driving it, won't make no difference whatsoever, but come MOT time, when the jack back end of the car up, the axle will drop down and it will rest on exhaust. Is it a problem? Not really. If you put the car on a 2-post ramp, the axle will drop down, rest on exhaust. Again, is it a problem? Not really, in all honesty. It's going to be worth that, that downfall to sort of gain what we're going to gain with the axle clearance under here. There's nothing worse than when you're driving and don't axle banging on that. And this is so springy up back end because the springs are really soft, so it's not on coilovers, they are really, really soft. Any weight in back of this, over speed bumps, it's going to bang on that axle if we go over it, no matter what I do. So that's it. We've decided. We're going for it. We're going underneath. Let's do it. Let's see what the Sled's like. It's got plenty of turbo chatter. I remember when I recirc off on mine. Gearbox is like a lottery.
God.
This feels worse than mine.
What an absolute bucket.
This feels worse than mine. I thought mine was sketchy and this feels worse than mine.
This will make me drive home in mine thinking, reliability.
What a weapon. It's late, guys, so it's going to be a short and sweet road test. And to be fair, it don't fill me with much confidence that we'll make it back to workshop. That's Volvo life here, especially when you're in these old ones. They're an absolute barrel of laughs, but yeah, they're not really known for reliability. And I thought mine felt sketchy. This feels proper sketchy.
This will make you appreciate it.
This will make mine feel amazing on the way home. And there's definitely something knackered on mine as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Prop donut or something. I think this has got a knackered prop donut or something. Every time I let off clutch, I can feel something bang on back axle. I'm not sure if this has got a knackered prop donut. Drives alright though for a,
yeah.
I mean, this is a 240, so I don't even know how old this is, but it's old. Older than mine, a lot older. This is probably 80s, this one. I'd say this, mate, I don't know if I would take a guess, mate. In fact, no, it's 90, isn't it?
Yeah, 90.
It's a 90.
Weren't it? 91.
92, I think. K-Reg. What's K-Reg? 92-ish, I think. Yeah, so it's a 92, so it's an old girl. It's definitely an old girl. God, gearbox. I could not live with M47 gearbox. Feels like back end's not connected to front end, doesn't it? It literally feels like back end's not on same car. It lights wheels up easy though. What a car, guys, what a car. Tell you, this is the Rolls Royce of Volvos. It's going to be a short and sweet one, boys. We are running late, bypass is chaos. And like I said, I'm not sure this will actually make it up bypass and back. It probably would. It's a Volvo, it'd get you anywhere, this would. Hope you've enjoyed this video, boys and girls. Yeah, we'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.
And there we are, folks. Every company makes mistakes, regardless of what they tell you. But it's how a company deals with a problem what shows what type of company they are. I came in on my day off on a Saturday and I got that rectified for that customer. Hope you all enjoyed. Peace out, people.